Hey, what's up guys? We've actually got two big news articles today about new Canon cameras coming in 2023, and one of them you will not want to miss. So make sure you stick to the end of the video to actually find out what these cameras are. And before we actually get into anything, I just want to say I got all this information from Canon Rumors, but let's just get straight into the articles and start talking about these new cameras. So as you can see, the first camera that we're going to be talking about, I am a little bit late to this, look, November 25th, is the Canon EOS R5 Mark II coming in the second quarter of 2023, and a CR2. And if you don't know what a CR2 is, it's how Canon Rumors actually rank their reliability sources, and CR3 is like a fact and CR0 is a joke. So CR2 is on the more good reliable source, so this is a very big possibility that this could actually be coming out next year in around March, April time. So if we actually scroll down and start talking about it, because we do have some specs as well, it says, so obviously with the R6 Mark II came out, people were speculating about the R5, and then it says the camera might actually be coming in the quarter two of 2023, and this information comes from a known source with a very good track record, but not a perfect track record. That's why it's on CR2 and not CR3. But here are actually some of the specs that we've got here, and there's actually quite a big list of the actual specs that might be coming in the Canon R5 Mark II. So we're going to be starting out with a brand new 61 megapixel CMOS BSI sensor. So it's going to be the highest megapixel count that Canon actually offer at the minute, I think, across all their cameras. It's going to have a dual Digit X processor. It's going to be able to do 30 frames per second electronic shutter, while with tracking, and 12 frames per second mechanical. So the same amount of mechanical frames per second, but it's matching that Canon R3 and the new Canon R6 Mark II with their 30 frames per second electronic shutter. And then it's going to have the same 8-stop IBIS, which is obviously good, but hopefully there's been a lot of trouble with like the IBIS wobble when you're like vlogging, so hopefully they might actually fix that. They did release an update, but I still think it's still there, so hopefully they will fix that in this camera. A new high resolution mode similar to pixel shift shooting found on Sony and Fujifilm. It's going to have a ×2, ×4 and ×8 digital teleconverter, so it's going to have like a digital in the camera teleconverter. So obviously we're gonna have to see what that's actually like, but that sounds pretty cool. It's gonna have the same dual pixel CMOS AF2 from the EOS R3 and R6 Mark II, which is absolutely the best autofocus out there from what I've heard of all the top professionals who've tested all of these cameras. And then it's going to do internal 8K 60 video recording and 8K RAW video spec to be confirmed. So 8K 60 matching that Nikon Z9. So it's going to do internal 4K 30, 60 and 120 frames per second video recording, all by oversampling from that 8K sensor. So it's going to look absolutely unbelievable. And it's also going to have full HD 240 frames per second super slow motion, which I'm actually really intrigued and actually excited by this. It's going to have focus breathing correction for video, a new overheat prevention design similar to the EOS R6 Mark II, at least 40 minutes for 8K video and over. And that's good. It's going to be for 8K video at least 40 minutes before it starts overheating. That's even better, and hopefully for 4K as well, and 4K 120 you won't actually hit them overheating issues. You're going to have 60 minutes for 4K video. Now I think this is a record limit. I don't think this is the overheat prevention, because it's like after when they start talking about the 8K, but I'm not sure. It could be 60 minutes before it overheats on the 4K, or 60-minute record time, but I'm not actually sure about that obviously until it releases. It's going to have dual CF Express Type B card slots, so instead of the one CF Express and one SD card, it's going to have two dual CF Express cards. It's going to have a standard HDMI port, so not a micro. It's going to have a dual USB-C port, a 9.4 million dot EVF, and a new design of vari-angle LCD monitor optimized for video shooting, and then a launch time 2023 and the quarter 2. So what do you think about this new Canon R5 Mark II? It's really intriguing to me. I'm actually looking to get an R5 soon. I'm currently saving up for it, and you know what? The price is probably going to be the same, if not more, than the R5 at the minute, but I definitely want to actually kind of wait and see what the R5 Mark II price will be, because this looks absolutely amazing. You're completely future-proofing yourself for tens of years to come, I think, with that 8K 60. What do you actually think? Leave your comments down below on your thoughts on this camera. Do you think it's a big upgrade on the R5? I think it's looking like a really nice big upgrade, especially with that new 61 megapixel sensor, and also 8K 60 and 240 frames per second in full HD. And then we're actually going to be getting on to the next news articles right now. And this news article is an EOS R camera between R7 and R10 is coming, CR3, and like I mentioned earlier, a CR3 is a fact, so this is definitely happening. It basically says, there's not actually much on this article, it basically says they think that it's going to be the EOS R8 or R9, guessing on the name, and then it also says it could have like the omission of a built-in viewfinder, but these are just guesses, so they're not actually sure. So, and then it just says, here's a rundown of the current rumoured EOS R camera bodies coming. So, either the EOS R8 or R9, which is what we're talking about now in this article, between the R7 and R10. But there's no confirmed specifications, and it will probably be APS-C, which makes sense. And then we may as well go and talk about these other cameras as well. So, we're going to have EOS R50, which is going to be below the R10. We're going to have the EOS R5S, which is going to be the long rumoured high megapixel camera. So if the R5 Mark II is going to have 61 megapixels, then surely the R5S, if this is true, is going to be pushing towards that 100 megapixels. So I don't know why they would like just make it a little bit higher than the R5 Mark II. If they're going to make it a complete separate camera, you may as well go all in and go for like 100 megapixels. And then the R5 Mark II, which is what we've just spoke about, and then the R7C, which is a cinema camera version of the R7, had been planned, but we're now getting some conflicting information that the product has been scrapped. So it actually might look like they're actually going to be completely scrapping the R7C cinema camera APS-C style, which would have probably rivaled the FX30 that Sony's just released. So I think it would have been a really good thing if they actually did release the R7C. But if they are scrapping it, I think that's going to be a little bit of a disappointment. But anyway, leave your thoughts down below. That wasn't a very big article on the actual what camera it will be. It's just basically saying that there's going to be a camera between them two coming next year. So again, leave your thoughts down below, what you actually think of these cameras, and are you excited for any of them? Leave your thoughts down below. I really do want to know. But anyway, that's the end of the video. If you did enjoy, hit that like button and subscribe to see more news articles like this in the future. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next video. See you later.